You're listening to Procurement 6, the weekly podcast from the team at Art of Procurement that summarizes this week in procurement in just 6 short segments.
Hi there. I'm Kelly Barner, and today is Friday, April 19th, 2024.
6.
This week's Procurement 6 is brought to you by Map and Territory B2B, a procurement leadership program. This unique program invites you to join online from May 14th and in person on June 19th and 20th, 2024, for a transformative experience that will take your career to new heights. The program is being led by Stephen Ashcroft, a global procurement thought leader and former AOP guest. The Map and Territory program emphasizes adaptability and challenges procurement leaders to explore beyond perceived boundaries. Designed to tackle pressing procurement challenges, from obliterating wasteful practices to understanding systemic bias, Map and Territory provides actionable insights applicable to organizations now and in the long term, and it is suitable for cross-functional teams, senior executives, and key stakeholders from various corporate and public sectors. To learn more, click the link in today's show notes and use the code KellyMNT10 at checkout for a 10% discount.
5.
In this week's Art of Procurement podcast, Philip Eidson spoke with Salvador Serra de Paz about how to lead successful procurement transformation projects in almost any setting. To get it right, he said, procurement first needs to have a mindset shift in how they view themselves. When procurement positions or brands themselves as a kind of business within the business, or an internal service provider rather than a mandatory corporate function that is being forced upon the different business units, they will have a much easier time gaining support and buy-in for the transformation project. Let's hear his take on this.
I think you hit the nail. And that is the part of procurement that I've always tried to explore in my career. We need to see, and this is something that I've always told during my past life, during my professional life, you need to see procurement as a small company that is delivering a service to a big customer. And you need to see procurement as an entity. And I'm always asking, when providing speeches at conferences, I'm always like to end up with this question. Imagine that your company could choose the procurement function.
Mm-hmm.
Would they choose you? You need to always answer that question.
Right.
And if the answer is, I'm not sure, be careful, because someday they will go and maybe they will outsource your area, or they will find somebody else to do it in a better way. You need to make sure that you treat your internal customers as what they are, customers. So you need to have your value proposition, you need to have your, of course, your service level requirements. At the same time, you need to ask them, in order to meet these service level agreements, you need to comply with this, and this. Okay? You need to place the orders, you need to enter the stock, you need to report incidences, etc. And this is a two-way. But you need to treat it, in my view, as a commercial organization, a company delivering a service to a third party.
Communicating procurement's relevance and purpose within the business is obviously important on many levels. But during times of transformation and change, it's even more important that the rest of the business clearly understands the value and support procurement offers. To listen to the full conversation, go to artofprocurement.com/podcast or search for Art of Procurement and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also click the link in today's show notes.
4.
The U.S. manufacturing industry is in the midst of a serious talent shortage, with estimates that around 600,000 jobs are currently unfilled. For job seekers or anyone considering entering the market, the manufacturing industry is a gold mine of career opportunities. But to attract skilled talent, companies will have to overcome outdated perceptions of the industry and keep up with evolving labor market trends. To better understand what is driving this talent shortage in manufacturing, as well as the opportunities that exist for job seekers and potential new hires, I recently moderated an AOP webinar with Weston Norris, SVP of Enterprise Sales at Xometry, and Jack Snodgrass, CFO and Revenue Operations Leader at Securitas Products and Solutions. To read my key takeaways, including what is driving the current shortage, how companies as well as job seekers can leverage this to their advantage, and why manufacturing offers some of the best career paths and opportunities for growth, read the article we published on the Art of Procurement website this week using the link in today's show notes.
This is Procurement 6 from Art of Procurement. To get notified every time an episode is published, go to artofprocurement.com/subscribe. 3.
In this week's episode of the Sourcing Hero podcast, I was joined by Natasha Seikach. She is the founder and CEO of Kronada and an international procurement thought leader who wrote the book on procurement transformation, literally. But don't feel bad if you haven't read it yet, as for now, it's only published in Croatian. She joined me for the podcast, in English, don't worry, to share 3 important steps that she says procurement should keep in mind when they're planning for transformation. They are, 1, get management involved as soon as possible. 2, define procurement scope from beginning to end at the beginning. And 3, set clear expectations, not just for procurement. To listen to our whole conversation, search for The Sourcing Hero wherever you listen to podcasts or click the link in today's show notes.
2.
Freight rates are a leading indicator for the health of the overall economy, as demand for capacity reflects consumer and therefore retailer demand. Today, they also provide evidence of the fragile balance between supply and demand. During the pandemic, demand for freight capacity skyrocketed. This led to elevated rates, followed by a surge in new providers entering the market. According to FTR Transportation Intelligence, there has been a net gain of 94,000 carriers since mid-2020. Retailers and manufacturers may not have returned to a full just-in-time inventory management model, but they are keeping inventory leaner than in the past, and this has led to flagging demand for freight capacity. According to DAT Solutions, a spot rate load board, freight rates are down 6.5% from the start of 2024. The Cass Freight Index shows rates 7.5% where they were in March of 2022. While buying conditions are competitive for shippers, carriers currently find themselves in a race to the bottom, and only a new spike in demand or a significant number of carriers choosing to leave the market will bring it to an end. Eventually, the market will equalize and supply and demand will once again be in balance, at least until the next macro change takes effect. To learn more, check out the links from the Wall Street Journal and FreightWaves in today's show notes.
1.
Before I let you go, I want to share the details of an event we have coming up next week. On April 24th, we'll be joined by Paul Bagley, Director of Commercial Contracting at Acosta, and Toby LaForest, Director of Product Marketing at Ironclad, to have a conversation about the mindset shift procurement needs to undergo for contracts to deliver their full potential value to the organization. Register now to join us for Connecting the Dots with Digital Contracts, or to receive the link to watch on demand in your inbox. Visit artofprocurement.com/calendar to see a list of all upcoming events.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday at 6 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. If you've enjoyed this pod, help us grow and tell your peers to search for Procurement 6 wherever they get their podcasts.